So, my kidney donation story starts when I was on break at work and I'm a state trooper. We would meet with local police officers for break, and typically the only places that are open in the middle of the night are gas stations and some 24-hour restaurants. So, there was a local officer that I knew but not really well, and he had mentioned he couldn't play contact sports when he was younger because he only had one kidney. And the first thing that popped into my mind was like, well, if you need a kidney, I certainly give you one of mine. And he was like, no, 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 I'm fine. I live a completely normal life with just one kidney. And his other kidney had been removed because of a birth defect when he was about 14 years old. So, what I meant by saying I would give my kidney to him was that I would give it to anyone. And the way he seemed to take it was that somehow he was special and he had never been offered an internal organ before. So in that, he must have taken it as some kind of a pickup line because I ended up getting to know him. We started dating and then we got married. So fast forward a number of years later, a friend of our family was beginning down a path of kidney disease and could potentially need a kidney in the future. I wasn't their blood type and they didn't need one right now. But the first thing that's popped into my mind again was, well, if they needed a kidney, I would give them one of mine. I didn't know what was involved in kidney donations, so I Googled it and I came across the Mayo Clinic. The Mayo Clinic had a non-directed option where they would find me a recipient. I went down that path. I filled out the paperwork to start the process. And I texted my husband and I said, hey, are you okay if I donate a kidney? And he said, sure. So we proceeded down that. I ended up donating in February of 2021. And that was a very profound experience. Nothing quite like having the opportunity to make that kind of an impact on someone's life. And it's not just their life that you're impacting. If that person has children or grandchildren, if you just take a look or think of your own life and think of somebody that you care about, and if that person was gone, how many people would be impacted? So it's kind of a ripple effect. It's not just the person whose life you're having a direct impact on, the person that's getting your kidney, but there are quite a few people that has a final impact on. My recovery went really well, nothing out of the ordinary. I was told by my surgeon that I could resume running as soon as I felt comfortable to do so, and she was guessing that would be within about 2 weeks. Now, I still had a lifting restriction, so I couldn't lift anything more than 10 pounds for 6 weeks, but I was able to start running again about 12 days post-op. So, pretty unremarkable and predictable recovery. It went just as planned, and I was back at work 8 weeks later. As far as my liver donation goes, it was a very short time after I had donated my kidney. I decided that when it was the right time in my life, I would donate part of my liver if I was able to. The liver's a little bit more complicated because there's some anatomy things they need to take a look at, such as the size and how your left and right lobe are distributed, as well as some of the vasculatures to that organ. So you could be perfectly healthy, but then just not have the right liver to be donated. In my case, I was able to go through the evaluation and they said that my right lobe would be beautiful to donate. And I was able to then donate my liver, or part of my liver, about 63%, to a recipient that I did not know. And again, the recovery went pretty well. It is a more intense recovery, so I was out of work for about 12 weeks. But again, very predictable. I had one small bump in the road that was no big deal, and I was resuming all normal physical activities within that 12-week period of time. I donated in May. I was able to participate in a 34-mile bike ride in August, and I was able to do a 10-mile run that I always participate in every year, and that's at the beginning of October. The time that I got for my 10-mile run was right on pace with other 10-mile runs that I've done in the past. I'd consider that a win and a full recovery.